All right, let's bring in our director of scouting, Craig Button, our fan favorite, as I described him off the top of the show, to talk about this Game 3 of the Cup final. Great to see you, buddy. Well, it was a dominant performance by Florida. You have to give them credit. They led for 59 minutes of that hockey game on Monday night. Did the Oilers even give themselves a chance to win Game 3, Craig?
Not at all, Jay. And you think about a Game 3 tied 1-1, it becomes a pivotal point in a series. And the Oilers were simply no-shows. They were no-shows. They were behind in the game. They never caught up to the game. At even strength, they were absolutely destroyed. I mean, the only time they really looked like they were energetic or enthusiastic was when they got on the power play. I mean, McDavid and Draisaitl 5-on-5 were non-factors. And this first goal, right off the bat, 56 seconds in by, oh yeah, you know it, Brad Marchand. I mean, you talk about sticking a pin into the balloon of the Edmonton Oilers. That's exactly what they did. And the lack of discipline, the number of penalties they took. And these weren't penalties taking away scoring chances. These were undisciplined penalties. And you know what happens when you get undisciplined penalties, Jay? It's actually a result of not being ready to play. You're on the wrong side of the puck. You're not ready on the bench. Too many men on the ice. High sticking. This team was simply not ready to play Game 3. And they got demolished. It wasn't a close. It wasn't a contest. And when you look at the Edmonton Oilers, it's really surprising to think that they could have a game like this after the two games we saw in Edmonton. But this is one, and if I'm Chris Knoblauch, I'm burning the tape and saying, hey, we're way better than this, and now they got Game 4 to show it.
And now you got the Steuart Skinner question, because he comes back down to earth, gets the mercy pull essentially after allowing 5 goals. Calvin Pickard comes in, and we remember in the first round, Craig, when Chris Knoblauch went to Pickard, that got the Oilers going in terms of getting on the roll that led them back to the Cup final. Do you see any chance that Chris Knoblauch goes back to Pickard for Game 4?
Well, here's the issue right now, Jay, is that you have a game where you were not very good if you were Stuart Skinner. And the fall behind 3-1 to the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup final, I think that makes Chris Knoblauch think a lot. This is the first goal of the game. There's times as a goaltender you just have to throw form out the window. Stuart Skinner gave up his form. And then the short side goals. I mean, you're going down, you're a big goaltender, and you go down and it beats you high glove. I know it's a good shot, or high blocker, excuse me. I know it's a good shot. It happens back to back. Verhaeghe and then Reinhart. Look at where the position is, and those are not good goals. The first goal is just sloppy goaltending. The second goal is, quite frankly, you got to be better than that. The power play goals, I understand that those are tough ones for Skinner to stop. But on the goals 1, 2, and 3, simply put, not good enough, which has to make Chris Knoblauch and the Edmonton Oilers think. Now, in defense of Stuart Skinner, no player on the Edmonton Oilers was any good in this game. No player. 0 players. So you might want to think, doesn't matter who goes in the net. If they're going to play in front of any goaltender like that, there's not going to be a chance to win. So that would be where you look at it with Stuart Skinner. He did play well in the games leading up to this one, but this one was rotten from the goaltender all the way out.
And we haven't seen this from the Edmonton Oilers basically since Game 2 of the first round against the Kings, right, Craig? Like, you really noticed Draisaitl and McDavid not having a ton of space to work with out there, and the Panthers really frustrating those top 2 players. How does Edmonton overcome that?
Well, I think they have to change a little bit of their approach. Number one, the Florida Panthers are always playing forward. From the defensive zone, blue line, all the way into the offensive zone, they're playing forward. You got to get pucks behind them. They're trying to make plays at the blue line. Draisaitl gets Podkolzin blown up, and then this leads to the 4th goal. I mean, they just get eliminated trying to make plays. You got to put pucks back behind the defense, below the goal line, if you want to have a chance. And Draisaitl does it. McDavid does it. If you want to wear out the Florida Panthers defense and you want to get some offensive zone time, you're going to have to put the puck behind those players. And simply put, until the Edmonton Oilers start to focus in on that area and say, we're going to start to put the puck behind them instead of trying to make plays where they just keep coming up and feeling good about it, you're going to get the same result. They have to make a strategic change there, Jay, because if they don't make that strategic change, they're just going right into the teeth of the Florida Panthers.
Craig, overall, are you worried at all about the Edmonton Oilers after Game 3?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. The Oilers seem to want to play a game that they knew they had to play because it's the Florida Panthers. But what comes naturally to the Florida Panthers is just what they do. It's not natural to the Edmonton Oilers. Do I think they're going to get blown out in Game 4? No, I don't. But they got to make some changes here because at even strength in this game, they had nothing. Not one opportunity that they really have at 5-on-5 versus this Florida Panthers team. So if they don't make those adjustments and don't make those changes, they're going to be in trouble. And can Chris Knobloch do it? I think he can. He's shown the ability to do it, but they're going to have to do it. They're going to have to convince their players we're going to have to play the long game, and the long game is pucks deep. I know it's a cliche, and let's get those defensemen turning, and force Florida to play from below their goal line up the ice instead of from the blue line neutral zone into our zone.
We've seen Chris Knobloch make a ton of incredible adjustments throughout this postseason. We'll see what he has up his sleeve for Game 4. And Craig, here's the best news. We don't just have one day to overreact to this loss. We have 2 full days to overreact to this loss because Game 4 is Thursday night. Thanks for this, Craig.